This is Love, Sex, and Society with Bridget and Don. Please like, subscribe, and share.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Love, Sex, and Society with Bridget and Don.
Don,
how you feeling today, Bridge?
Good, but we can't see you.
Oh, let's go again. All right, now. No.
Yeah.
You can see me, no?
Yeah, but you're on the right side. But yeah.
Okay, that's cool. We're gonna rock with separate sides today. So we're gonna start off tonight with first of all, if you missed last week's show, you gotta go check it out. Please check out last week's show. I'm gonna try to loop it in at the end of the show so that it'll be a thumbnail so you can see it. Last week's show was incredible. Shout out to Renee J for joining us. Really appreciate his presence. So tonight we're going to start off with getting rid of the old so you can make room for the new. And that could fall into a lot of different realms. Friendships, relationships, jobs. There's a whole lot of things. But have you ever had to make room for new things and you found that the old things in your life was holding you back?
Yeah, I feel like I was going through that kind of recently, where it's like just like I don't know. I feel like it, like you said, I feel like it applies to so many different things. But I really just was thinking like sometimes I feel like if you don't make room for the things that you want, you know, God's never going to give them to you. And I feel like sometimes we as people, I feel like we're very attached to things because it might have some type of meaning to us, you know, whether it be like clothes or whatever it is. Like, you know, it could be anything. I feel like anything in your life, people be like, oh no, but you know, I got this during this time and it just remind me of something, or I never got to wear that yet. But it's like, if you're not using it, what use is it? You know?
Yeah.
So I'm like really lately in my life, I feel like I've been like really just letting things go, you know, because I'm like, and stop like acting like it, you know, like, oh, if it don't have a purpose, then it's like, I don't need it. But just realizing that it will be replaced with something better, you know, and you don't, because I feel like, you know, sometimes when you operate from, you know, either clutter or having the wrong type of people around you, it affects you, you know. And honestly, you know, I think we block our own blessings sometimes when we hold on to things that don't serve us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, clutter has always, and when I was young, I didn't realize this. Like I had an uncle who would always tell me, you know what I'm saying, like clean your room, make space in your room, declutter your room. And I used to be like, you know what I'm saying, everything I got in here, I want to keep it.
Yeah.
But you can't think around clutter. And that can be with anything. That can be with just the wrong group of people around you.
Right.
They're going to stunt your growth because you're trying to move in a different way. And they want to do the same as always. They want to do the same thing they did last year and the year before that and the year before that. But sometimes you got to clear some of that clutter out of your way so you can make space. Clothes is definitely been like one of my biggest holding on to. Oh my God. I look at clothes all the time. I'm like, I am never going to wear this again. But nothing in me says, go ahead and grab it, take it, throw it out. Just throw it out.
Yeah.
And there's been times in relationships where as soon as I moved that old situation away from me, a lot of positive things start happening for me. So you're right. You can definitely block your blessing with the wrong people in your space. Like so many things has changed for me in the last probably 4 years that it's like, you know, when I thought that everything was going good before, when I moved certain clutter out of my life, things have gone drastically better. Like just living and feeling better
Right.
every single day.
Right.
Yeah, so I think people definitely need to, at some point in your years, most people do it around New Year's time.
Mm-hmm.
They'll start evaluating friendships, evaluating relationships, evaluating their living situation, like where they live at.
Yeah.
But you should always pick a time in the year when you should kind of spring clean your life, so to speak.
Yeah.
And start figuring out, the things that I need to no longer be connected to. This way I can change the direction of my life.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I feel like it could be people's phone, like pictures in your phone. Like it's like some people run out of storage because you got so much pictures in your phone. And it's to the point where some people, instead of like just making time to declutter the pictures in their phone, they're like, oh, well, I'm gonna just pay more money for storage, And I think low key, I feel like we are hoarders in different ways, not like, hoarding our houses and nothing like that, but like we're hoarding things. And, I feel like when people surround yourself around clutter at all, I feel like those are signs of like, sometimes can be signs of like depression and stuff like that. So, I think, and of course I don't ever want people to feel like to overwhelm yourself and feel like you gotta make a checklist of decluttering everything in one day, but I think it should be something that people do just to, make space. Like, I get it. Some people don't want to let go pictures, but you also have to have space to make new memories, and that's the same with people. Like sometimes you might be hanging around people that always want to turn up and go out all the time, and you might be over that phase in your life, so if you know that, oh, I want to lock in with my fitness goals and I care about my health, you have to declutter those old friends, not to say you gotta get rid of them, but it's like you can't be around that no more in order to be around something new, like friends that are into the things that you're into. Same as relationships, you got some people that be holding on to their exes, and they wondering why they new blessing ain't coming, I don't know. It's just like, I don't know if you ever seen that meme where it was like, it was like a picture of Jesus, and he was like, the little girl, it was the little girl, I want to say, and she was like holding a teddy bear, and she like, no, I don't want to get rid of it, but he had a brand new teddy bear behind his back, like,
Oh wow.
So I feel like that applies to a lot of things in people's lives, like, just like, sometimes we're scared to let go of things, but I don't know, I just been feeling very liberated by just letting things go. And also you realize, like, when we gone off this earth, we can't take nothing with us. You know what I'm saying?
None of it.
Yeah.
None of it.
I feel like we have like a certain type of attachment style when it comes to things, whether it be people, clothes, and it's like nothing should be, we shouldn't be holding that much value in certain things. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So.
Like, I think we have switched from physical clutter, where we used to clutter everything into the house or a room, and now we do a digital clutter.
Yeah.
How many people on your Facebook that are Facebook friends that, one, you probably have never met a day in your life?
Yeah.
The stuff, the content that they put out there doesn't benefit you at all. It doesn't uplift you. It doesn't move you forward in life. But yet, even though you hate looking at it and you scroll past it quick, not one time do we hit the unfriend button. Like, right. I don't need to see you, I don't know, twerking with your homegirls every single time I open up my damn phone.
Right.
So we are now digitally cluttering things. I had like you were talking about the pictures when you run out of storage. Gmail, I couldn't get any more emails on my Gmail account. It was like, oh, it's totally full. And I've been trying to delete pictures from Google Photos and everything. And I'm like, why is it still full? I actually went through year by year of old emails. And then I caught myself actually reading old emails. That email has been sitting in there since 2009. I
Mhm.
ain't reached back to that. I was just deleting the full years. Just go.
Yeah.
Um, so we are definitely digitally cluttering. And I'm sure there's pictures that I've got in my phone that mean nothing. It was probably just a goofy photo, but for some reason it's still stuck in my phone.
Mhm.
Um, and we have to we have to literally make space to think, make space to move forward, and definitely make space, you know what I'm saying, for the blessings God has for you. Even even though I can't say I've had bad friends around me, but if you're not moving in the same direction as your friends, they can still be cool. Like, I'm not saying get rid of your friends, but sometimes you have to connect with people who are moving in the same direction as you.
Mhm.
Um, I've made some big steps over the last couple of weeks, um, and I don't think I would have had the drive, or not even the drive so much, but I don't think I would have made the move had I not been around certain people who was like, you know, saying, yeah, that's a great idea, do it.
Mhm.
As opposed to somebody going, oh, that's not necessary. Let's go to the club and burn that money up. You know, I had to invest in me
Mhm.
in order to start moving forward. But it took me to be around a certain group of people for me to say, you know what they're saying to me is absolutely right. Just do it and um, stop saying you're gonna do something,
Mhm.
and then allowing other things to redirect you.
Right.
Just make the move and then see what comes of it. And if you fail, at least you can say, I tried it, you know, on to the next thing. I'm sure when you was opening your business, you was like, you know what I'm saying? Oh, I'm nervous. I gotta be responsible for my own everything.
Yeah.
But look, if you had never made the move you made, you never would be where you are today. You know what I'm saying? You
Yeah.
wouldn't be moving in the arena that you're moving in. So yeah, definitely.
And I feel like honestly, I really look back and I feel like when I finally made that move, of course, I would never sit here and like pin it to people because ultimately I feel like God gave me the vision and I had to do the work. But I feel like it came when I feel like I got rid of a lot of things that were distracting me, and don't get me
Mhm.
wrong, like I'm not blaming them because I'm my own person. So, if I can't say no to turning up with my friends and stuff like that because I'm trying to do something that goes against the grain that's different, than what everybody else does, it requires a different type of sacrifice and those type of people are not going to understand that, so I had to stop being around certain people and be around like-minded people, and I
Mhm.
think that was like the biggest thing for me is like being around people that are actively doing what I want to do, just so I can see like what type of moves they make and just see that it's possible, So
Yeah,
like
if
you
you
said, I'm
gotta.
not gonna tell people to get rid of their friends, but also like even when you made the point about like social media, people follow people that you don't like and whole
Mhm.
time the stuff that they be posting might even bother you, get under your skin. And personally, like I feel like lately social media has been like very overstimulating for me to the point where like I really don't want to be on social media, but I feel like when you're following things that you don't like or stuff that seems like a trigger to you, it's going to affect your mental health. So I do feel like if people don't like certain people's content, if you don't even like them just in general, it's just something about them bothers, if they bother you or it's a trigger to you, unfollow them because that can be weighing down, your mental health or whatever. So, and I think that's a big thing for me too, even on social media. Like I follow things that it's like maybe I need to hear or things I need to see, stuff for motivation or whatever. And then sometimes over time you might have to adjust. When you don't
Yeah.
like certain things that people say or how certain things is done or whatever the case may be, whatever your reason is, I'm like, no, that them saying something like that upset me. Like I don't like that, whatever. And I think it's completely normal for you to outgrow people, and
Yeah.
think, you know. And I don't think people should be scared to let things go. Like, I don't know. I've been on a like, this can go, this can go. I don't care. Like, I don't know. I just feel like I'm trying to live like free, where I'm not. And also, I think sometimes people attach their identity to a lot of things too.
Yeah.
Like that. I think that's a huge one. Like I took my piercing out, which is something that I went back and forth for years. And I swear I went back and forth for years because I'm like, low key, I'm like, dang, like I made it a part of my identity, but this does not make or break me. Like I was who I was
Mhm.
before the piercings and the tattoos. Um, and so it's just like being okay with like this does not matter. Like, this can come out. It's not gonna change who you are. You are who you are, and just not having like those attachments to things that you feel like is a part of your identity. You know what I'm saying? Like clothes,
Yeah.
whatever, you know?
You sometimes you have to sit and think, even decade to decade, like what was I doing in my 20s that I'm
Mm-hmm.
still doing in my 30s that's not helping me move forward? What am I holding on to from 10 years ago
Yeah.
that I'm still doing now and it's not helping me grow? It's not helping me move forward. And you have to. I know it's hard. It's really hard because I hold on to some of the most ignorant things. I had to. There was a time. What was it? It had to be about December. Um, there was a bunch of people on my feed on IG, and every time I looked through whatever they were posting, it was something that was just going to cause an argument. Like,
Yeah.
and they was feeding off of that argument state. And I know you can sit there and just be like, okay, I don't want to see this content.
Yeah.
But I had to just unfollow. I was like, I have to disconnect from that person, and it was about 5 different people that I had to really like disconnect from because yeah, we don't, even when we don't think we're picking up our phone, subconsciously we're grabbing that phone first thing in the morning, we're scrolling through it. And the first thing that we're feeding our mind with is negativity. Hit that unfollow button. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? They're probably not going to even miss that you're no longer there, but it'll make your life better. You know what I'm saying? It'll
Yeah.
make your life different. Hit that unfollow button. Hit that unfriend on Facebook for those who are still on Facebook. Hit that unfriend. Hit that unfollow. But disconnect.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I have. I got a really close friend, family member, who might end up me disconnecting because everything
Sure.
that they send me is like fights and people in the street fighting. And I'm like, I'm 52 years old. I don't want to see two people fighting all the time. Like
Yeah.
that doesn't help me. That doesn't help what I need to do in life.
Yeah.
So yeah, bad content,
Yeah.
bad content, and
I
we're holding on to it.
yeah. I feel like when people declutter, you give yourself a chance to reinvent yourself,
Mm-hmm.
like even like just like I feel like what I said with my parents saying, like I'm like, no, like I'm stepping into a new era. Or even like when it comes to clothes, like some people be so scared that like people are so attached to like so many things that you don't realize, like, okay, what is it gonna hurt to get rid of old clothes? You gonna get new better clothes, and
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Like you stepping into your new era. Like, I feel like you get to reinvent yourself. Um and even like even bad habits, like I said, like if you trying to get healthier or you trying to change your lifestyle from partying to okay, let me get healthy and stuff like that. Like, what is the outcome from stop doing one thing to better yourself? You're reinventing yourself, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I think while it's so hard to let things go, it's like a really great thing because better things, you know, that when you let things go, better things are coming, you know?
Absolutely. I got a suit jacket that I know I haven't worn in the better part of probably 15 years, and it is still sitting upstairs on a hanger. And
Yeah.
I'm like, why the hell? I don't even know if I could fit it, to be quite honest. I've definitely picked up weight in the
Hmm.
last 15 years. I don't even know if I can fit it anymore, but yet I'm still holding on to it. As a
Yeah.
matter of fact, tonight, I am going to grab it off the hanger and throw that shit the hell away. I'm
Yeah.
getting rid of it tonight. I'm going to start tonight with decluttering my closet.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, we you got to make way. You really do have to make way for the better things in your life, and it's not going to be easy, and sometimes it's painful.
Yeah.
Um, but it's going to end up being a good pain. Um, as much as I was on a workout path, I was working out constantly, and then I just started falling back into old routines. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. Procrastination has always been my biggest thing. Oh,
Hmm.
I'll do it tomorrow. I've gotta clear the way of I can't do it tomorrow. I got to do it today. It
Yeah.
has to be done today. I have to make the move in order to see the not only the difference in my body, but also be healthy. You know what I'm saying? Um, you get this life one time,
Right.
and the more negativity and bad things that you pour into it, the shorter that life is going to be. So yeah, I got to get focused on the new things that I put in my life.
Right.
Um, but yeah, declutter. Let's make a spring cleaning digitally. Let's spring clean the house. And for those of y'all who got them bad friends around you, start spring cleaning some of them friends. Get that clutter out of your life, and you'll see how quickly things change.
Right.
Um,
Them,
what we
those who hold on to your exes, your
Ooh,
wife or your husband is not coming while you keep on holding on to that ex. So,
they blocking that blessing.
yeah.
What we got next?
So my next topic is, it kind of goes hand in hand with this topic, but it's you are your best investment. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and this is another thing, just as much as like people are scared to let things go, I feel like people are scared to invest into themselves. You know, I feel like you hear people say it all the time, like, I want to do this, I want to do that. And, you know, it's either they procrastinate or they have anxiety behind what if it doesn't work, you know? So I just want to talk about why you are your best investment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Um, so this month, well, last month I said I wanted to do something.
Hmm.
Um, I wanted to become a firearms instructor.
Okay.
I've always had a desire for firearms. I always liked firearms. So I was like, you know what? I want to become an instructor. Good friend of mine is already an instructor, and I would watch him do what he did. And I was like, I want to do that. I want to help people become better with firearms. And I was getting ready to start putting it off. Okay, so I know I got this trip coming up in April. I got a wedding, my daughter's wedding in May. I'll get to it in June. And my wife was like, no, you're gonna do it now. Like if you can make a way to do everything else, just do it. And I
Yeah.
was like, but I got this going on and that going on. And I was making excuses. I was setting myself up to be okay with failing at
Hmm.
it. And I've had women who's been in my life and they'll say something is a great idea. Um, but it's never been as stern as she made it. Like, no, do it now. Like, find the opportunity, make it happen, and do it. So last week, went into that did my class last week, and as of Monday, I am a qualified handgun instructor for Maryland State.
Yes.
So, but I would have put it off.
Yeah.
And that's what I was saying, like changing that procrastination habit.
Yeah.
And investing in yourself. I know, between eating out and drinking at bars, I know I could blow a couple of $100 a month easily.
Yeah.
And that's something that you're going to do it and you'll never see that money again.
Right.
But it felt good to invest in myself. Like when I walked out of class on Saturday, and knowing that I had achieved this, and I hadn't invested in myself like that in so long.
Yeah.
Like I drove out of there feeling different.
Good.
I felt like a new person. Thank you. And I'll admit, you know what I'm saying? Like my wife, she said, you know what? We got the extra money. Here, do it. And I was just like, okay, we got the extra money. We could put that in savings. We could put that towards something. She was like, no, you can put that towards you. And the investment will pay back off as opposed to us just rolling through the money and then we have nothing to show for it. At least with this, you invest in yourself. So I'll tell anybody, invest in yourself.
Yeah. I think another thing though too is I feel like that's also the difference when men just have a woman and have a good woman, and a good woman is going to speak the life into you, especially when she sees that you're not pushing yourself, because the whole situation you just explained how you were second guessing yourself, and she like, no, you're gonna do it. Like, it reminds me of one of my clients. Him and his girlfriend is an entrepreneur, and he was second guessing himself. He has a clothing line, and he was thinking about doing sneaker con, but he like, you gotta pay a big vendor fee for that. And his girlfriend was like, no, you're gonna do it. And he like, I don't know, he's second guessing himself. She was like, okay, well, I'll pay the vendor fee, but you're going to sneaker con, and she pushed him to go. He made so much money. He made a couple $1,000, and I explained that to him. I said, see, that's what happens when you have a good woman, because if you would have just listened to yourself where you're doubting yourself, like sometimes that like a good woman will plant that seed in your head, like, no, you're not about to doubt yourself. I don't care what you think. I'm telling you what I know is going to work, so I think that's great that, Nisha pushed you to do that, because it is going to pay itself off, what you pay to invest into yourself, like you're going to get that time, whatever, I think that's a big thing. Like even when it comes to like your side hustle or your finances. And I just really want to explain different ways that I feel like people can invest into themselves. Like, so of course, like the entrepreneur thing, like what you just talked about, right? Like, and so right now I'm gonna just speak to the entrepreneurs or anybody who wants to become an entrepreneur. I just feel like you cannot be scared to invest into your business, and because if you're serious about it, you're gonna get it back. One thing I've never been scared about, even in the beginning, I've never been scared to invest into my business. And even like all these years now, I'm definitely not scared. So if I felt like it could be anything. Like I'll just hypothetically say like maybe a hair steamer or something. Like if I get that, like I know that that's going to make me money. So I'm not scared of like how much that will cost me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Right. And I'll just give little examples. Like for example, I did buy this little hair steamer. I added on this package service to my lot clients, right? And I never promoted this ever. Like, I never promoted this package.
Wow.
And when I say so many people add this add-on service, and it's a good package, it's a good amount of money, a good add-on, you know. And another thing, even as a hairstylist, like products. This is another reason why, like, investing into yourself, you can't be cheap, right? Because I went somewhere, got my hair done, and the hairstylist used like a very cheap like edge control to the where it's like I only got like 2 braids, but my 2 braids lasted maybe like 2 days because it wasn't a good edge control because it did not hold my hair, right? So you think I'm gonna go back to her? No. Right. So I feel like as a hairstylist, I'm not scared to, I understand the value in investing into the best product because I realize with the best product, I get the best quality and it lasts long and people are coming back. You know what I'm saying? Like if people don't have good quality, they're not going to have a reason to come back. They're going to be like, my hair didn't even last nothing but a week. I ain't going back to her, you know? So I realized I don't care how much money a jar that I have to pay on product. It's going to be the best product because people going to be able to say, my hair lasted a whole month, you know, and it was done correctly and all that stuff. So that's another reason why, depending on what you do as an entrepreneur, you can't be cheap, you know, investing. Don't be scared of like, oh, well, that jar of product cost me $20. Okay. And that just brought you 20, 30 more clients, you know, rather than you lost 10 clients or however many clients because you use something cheap, you know? So, that, and then also like financial, like if you're not good with your finances, because we talked about that on here too. Sometimes you might have to invest into a credit advisor or, you know, somebody that's going to help you either teach you or manage your finances or investing into a class that you can learn yourself, you know?
Yeah.
Don, what are some other things that you feel like people can invest into themselves?
I think we just talked about investing in your health. You may not know everything. As a matter of fact, you probably don't. We probably just don't know everything.
Yeah.
But we got Google, you know, we got the different AIs. Ask the question like, how can I do this? This is what I want my outcome to be. How can I get there? If you want to work out, I know it sounds like it's going to cost money, but get a personal trainer. If you want to do something, pour into yourself.
Yeah.
I used to be notorious for shortchanging. I would always try to find the cheapest way to do everything. But then I would notice I would have to reinvest over and over again because the cheapest way was not the best way and it didn't work.
Yeah.
So investing in your health, I know I just said it, but you have literally one life. And going to the doctor, getting those checkups, maybe taking one less drink per week, or, you know, going out and staying up late at night, one less time per month. Pour into your own health. That's since we don't know everything, find someone who does know more than you.
Right.
And if it costs you a couple of dollars to even sit down and talk to them or have them show you how, do it.
Yeah.
Because anything that you want for sure, you're going to have to pay a little bit of money to get it. Because if you want it and it's important to you, it's going to cost, because most things that are good for you do cost.
Right.
One definite way that if you plan on getting into your own business or you have thoughts of getting into your own business, I know this may sound a little cruel, but avoid those 9-to-5 friends just a little bit. If that's all they want to do is work a 9-to-5 and punch somebody else's clock, they can't help you get to where you want to be. I'm not saying you got to disconnect from them totally, because you may show them that becoming an entrepreneur is a good thing. So they may need to see you succeed in order to change their mindset. but you are the company you keep. So if you want to be an entrepreneur, start finding entrepreneurs to hang around with.
Right.
Because birds of a feather. You know what I'm saying? Like if you want to be an entrepreneur and every day, all day, all you're doing is talking to people who all they want to do is punch a clock, I guarantee it'll be 10 years down the line. You'll still say, I want to be an entrepreneur, but you're punching the clock.
Yeah.
I really do value the friends who, even the ones that just has a side hustle, a successful side hustle. I value those friendships because it makes me know it's possible. They got 2 feet, 2 hands, just like I do.
Right.
If they can do it, I can do it too. So I value those friendships. I value friendships that enlighten me and empower me to step out of my comfort zone and do something different.
Right.
So yeah, definitely invest in yourself emotionally, physically, and financially.
Yeah.
And even relationship wise, I mean, it may sound crazy, but be cognizant of who you get into a relationship with, because if you're in a relationship with somebody who doesn't see past step A, you'll be stuck at step A forever.
Yeah.
But if you connect yourself with somebody, a good woman, a good man who says, you know what, this is where we are today, but by next month, I want to be here. And it could be a small baby step. It could be, I want us to have a savings account. Okay, so we opened the savings account and we got $5 in it this month. But that $5 every month, by the end of the year, you now have money set aside. So if something goes wrong, if your car breaks down, you're not sitting there going, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
So getting with somebody who is ready to make a new step and not scared of it.
Yeah. I feel like even though it's not like, I feel like everybody doesn't have to want to be an entrepreneur. I do feel like everyone should have some type of hobby or a side hustle, just because I feel like you never know what can happen, and I feel like you should always have a source of income that you're in control of, that someone can't take from you unless you decide to ruin it for yourself, but I think like even being a hairstylist, I love talking to clients that, because I think I'm the perfect person to talk to when it comes to like going against the grain, I had a new client, he's an older guy and he is a reggae singer. And I'm like, yeah, you need to get in the studio, I'm like, you need to do this, because while I sit here and listen to so many people, I hear women all the time like, oh, my dude do music, he need to give it up. But it's like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not the person that's gonna just be like, like, oh yeah, I understand. Because like I get it. Like people want stability, but also I'm the person that wouldn't get the grain. So I know I don't believe that anything is impossible to accomplish if someone really wants it. Of course, people got to be realistic and be actively trying to go after their goals and stuff. But I absolutely believe in what some people think is impossible. I don't think it's anything that's impossible. So I love talking to people about that. But even like with the health, investing into your health, like I feel like some people don't think about the fact that that the result of investing into your health is like living longer. Of course we can't control how we leave this earth, so it could be an accident, it could be anything, right? But in the meantime, I feel like we can focus on the things that we can control and try to be here longer. So if you have children, grandchildren, or whatever the case may, or you don't even have to have that, honestly, because it's like anybody in your family will want you here. I feel like investing into your health, investing into trying to eat better, working out, if even your mental health, I think that's a huge thing that people should invest into, because your mental health can play a part in how you are at work. You know, you can have bad relationships with people at work because your mental health is off. You know, your mental health is bad. You walk in the office, someone speak to you, you getting smart with them. You know, it can affect your relationships with your family or your personal relationship with your friends or a partner. Um, so I think like investing into your health, whether it be your mental health, your sleep, all those things is an investment to make sure that you are becoming your best self so that I can show up and have good quality relationships with people, as well as try to be on this earth a little longer, to see your children, your family, whoever, still live. And also as well as like even outside of the entrepreneurship, I feel like people who don't start to be entrepreneurs and you're okay with working a career, like working for someone else, because everyone don't have to want that, want to be an entrepreneur. Invest into your career. So if that means going back to school, going to do a trade or whatever the case may be, invest into that. Don't be scared to go back to school so that you can further yourself in your career. So yeah, I don't know. What other things you got done?
I'm a piggyback on what you just said. Even like you said, even if you want to work a 9 to 5, that's great. Not everybody's built for entrepreneurship. It's hard. It's a pain in the ass a lot of times, and you work more hours when you work for yourself. Best believe it.
Yeah.
But if you're gonna be at a job, why not take extra trainings to help you be better in your job? So this way, when that promotion comes up, you can say, well, during this year, I picked up this new thing and I can apply it to my job. So this way, you're not sitting stagnant and not moving up. I've watched people at a job I was at, and I would sit there, and some of them was doing the same job for 20 years. And I'm like, nothing ever said to you, I want a promotion. Yeah. Nothing ever said, I want to do something different as opposed to what I've been doing for the last 20 years. And I would sit there, I would look at them like they had 3 heads. Like, it's impossible for me to sit and do any one thing for 20 years without making any forward progress.
Right.
And I've seen people do it. And if you're gonna work a 9 to 5, great. If you're gonna be there, you got to be there 8 hours. Make it the 8 hours that works best for you.
Yeah.
If you may not want to be a supervisor, okay. There are 50 other jobs at the company you work for that you probably qualify for, or you can help yourself become qualified for. Make the step. You know what I'm saying? Like, invest in yourself. And I'll keep saying it. One less drink at the club. One less night of hanging out.
Yeah.
You might be able to take that and apply it to a textbook. Yeah. I have a good friend of mine. He was a customer service rep, but he always loved computers. And he liked money. So he was a customer service rep, and then he would get off of work and drive taxi after his customer service job. But while he was driving taxi, in between calls, he bought himself the A+ and C+ books and taught himself networking. Never went to school, but he paid for his own books. Once he got certified, he went from making, and this is, probably 15, 16 years ago, he went from making $11.74 an hour to making $72,000 a year.
Yeah.
Literally overnight. Well, not overnight, but once he got his certification, literally. And then a company found out how good he was and paid him to relocate to Vegas.
Yeah.
But he invested in himself. The books may not have cost more than $30, $40 a piece.
Right.
And he was doing it in between calls while he was working taxi, so he was still working. There's people who sit at a desk all day and they will scroll through their phone. It's not going to bring them any extra money. They'll look up stuff on the internet. That's not going to bring them any extra money, as opposed to just opening a book and reading something that may help you get to that next level. I know somebody right now who has gone headstrong into like the THC cooking and the edibles.
Mm-hmm.
And at first I was just like, it's not grabbing me because it's not a big thing for me. But then watching that person become so enthusiastic about it made me interested,
Yeah.
made me want to listen to what she was saying, made me
Mm-hmm.
want to go, okay, you doing it. What's your next step? Like you now, I'm ready to, okay, what we gonna try? What you gonna try next? You know what I'm saying? What you gonna
Right.
do next? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And it's becoming, it's something that went from being a passion to be, it has very much the possibility of being a side hustle. So I'm like,
Yeah. Yep.
if you're gonna be sitting doing nothing, do something with nothing.
Right. Right. Yeah. You know what else I feel like people should invest into? I feel like people should invest into their self-care. That's a big thing. Because I feel
Yeah.
like self-care plays a part into your mental health and but self-care for example, if someone does a physically labor job, I feel like invest into, even if it's just once a month or once every couple of months, invest into like getting a massage so that you're not wearing your body out. Um,
Mm-hmm.
or even, and I know that it might sound crazy, but even like skincare, if I think people sleep on that, like even like skincare and definitely like hair, I feel like those is two things that really helps boost people's confidence. And people might not think that those things matter, but it matters a lot. It does affect your mood. Um, and so I feel like if you struggle with uh whether you don't know how to properly take care of your skin, invest into going to an esthetician, and I'm not even gonna say just a
Mm-hmm.
dermatologist, but an esthetician, because they will teach you how to take care of your skin to maintain it, as well as help you, um, or and learning to invest into good products, because that can, like, if you're not taking care of your skin, that can play a part in your confidence, and I feel like men and women, it will make you
Yeah.
feel insecure, and you want to show up as your best self, and some women, I've talked about this in the past, but like, if you're not properly taking care of your skin, then you feel like you have to cover it up wearing makeup and stuff like that. So I feel like
And
investing
doing
in,
more.
exactly, doing more damage, and so, even some of these younger girls, they're they don't even know how bad makeup can be on their skin, so they just straight going into um wearing makeup and stuff like that, not realizing you're damaging your skin. So I feel like taking care of your skin um is self-care. I feel like your hair as well. I feel like getting your hair done is one of the main things that help boost your confidence. Not only that, it helps your mental health as well, because whether you go into a hairstylist or a barber, and a lot of men can sit there and say this, you go see a barber, you talking, you venting, you feeling heard, you feeling seen. It's like therapy, so it's deeper than, and then when you leave, especially men, or I'll say men and women, when people, once their hair is done, you can't get them out the mirror, so if they could have been crying, upset, depressed about anything, but the moment that you
Mm-hmm.
get your hair done, or you get your shape up or whatever, you like, I'm that guy, I'm that girl, your confidence is like through the roof, and it's gonna play a part in how your mood is.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so whether it be that, hair, skin, um,
Relaxation.
massages, yeah,
Finding.
pedicures, taking care of your
s-
feet, because this is all a
Yeah.
part of your body. People think like, oh, your body is just like working out and eating, but it's also your skin, and all that is your body too. So that's your face, your feet, your scalp, all of these things. So your recover,
Um.
if you work out a lot, you gotta recover, you gotta invest into recovery,
Mm-hmm.
so that you can keep, going out there and keep moving your body, but I feel like it is a good investment. You know what I'm saying?
Like I've watched two really good male friends of mine. Um, and one he just started running, became addicted to it. He runs all the damn time now. And another friend of ours saw what he was doing. He was like, "Yo, I want to get my body together too." He was like, "Come on, let's run." And now they're both addicted to the shit, but it's a good addiction. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
um, even like the getting the candles and the scents and sitting in the damn bathtub, no phone,
Yeah.
disconnected from the internet, sit there, music, whether it be an actual song or just earth sounds,
Yeah.
and just be reconnect with yourself because a lot of times we get so bogged down with what's going on around us, work, chores, things that if you disconnect from all of those things, you breathe in good smells, you listen to good sounds. When you come out of that bathroom, um, your your mind is going to be released from a lot of toxic things that are just there.
Yeah.
Um, I love a good massage. I don't get to do it often enough. And I let life happen, but I need to at least make that at least a once a month thing going
Mhm.
forward.
Yeah.
Um,
Like even my therapist, anytime that I'm like I'm struggling, whether it's like I'm not getting good sleep or I'm struggling with something mentally, she like, okay, what are we doing with self care? What are we doing with self care?
mhm.
You know, and I think people really sleep on like how much doing any of those things for your self care could really affect your mental health.
Yeah.
Even what was that? I had to invest into a new mattress, recently. And it's like I've been getting the best sleep of my life. And then now the result of that is like I'm getting good sleep. I'm waking up in a better mood, I can like show up as my best self to people. So um but for some reason, I don't know, like why do you think people because I feel like you always have two voices in your head. Because if you didn't have two voices, one voice comes up with the idea, and then you got the bad voice that's trying to talk you out of it. Why do you think that people struggle with that?
Because we sometimes need people. We
Mm-hmm.
feel like we need somebody to talk us out of something. Um, One of my biggest problems that I've probably had the majority of my life, I would tell a lot of people about ideas that I had because I needed somebody to tell me I couldn't do it.
Mm.
I would, no matter how good the idea sounded to me, I would constantly tell people until I found that one person that would give me a reason not to try it, or give me a reason that it's not going to work, and I'll let the idea go away.
Yeah.
Um, it just so happens this current idea, I just happened to be around two people, one my wife, and then a good friend of mine who was like, "No, it's a great idea."
Yeah.
And for the first time in my life, I stopped right there. I didn't tell anybody else until I was already enrolled. I already spent the money. Normally, I would have shouted out that idea from the rooftop until somebody said, "Nah, I don't do that. Don't
Mhm.
waste your money. It's not going to work."
Yeah.
Um, I didn't have that opportunity because the two people who was in my corner so much. It was like, yeah, now's the time. Do it right now.
and,
Uh,
and not to cut you off, Don, but I think that's a prime example of the people that you chose to invest into.
mm-hmm.
You chose to invest into
Yeah.
good people around you, good friends. You chose an amazing wife that even when you have that self doubt, they're like, no, you got it, and holding you accountable. And that's
Mm-hmm.
another investment is who you choose to be your partner, who you choose to be your friends.
Yes.
If you got friends that's around you hating on you, they're going to do what you thought you wanted people to do. They're going to doubt you. They're going to be like, I don't think that's a good idea. I think you're too, like even the client that I said he's a reggae singer, he's older. If he had a bad group of friends around him, oh, you're too old to be doing music. But that's why it's important
Mm-hmm.
to invest into even the people around you. so that when you have that self-doubt, the people around you are pouring into you and also like holding you accountable, you know?
Yeah, we, like you said, we have those two voices in our head. There's one who's telling us, I have dreams, I have ambitions, these are things I want to do. And we can tune that other voice out and just do it. But I think we sit long enough to allow that voice to be loud enough that it prevents us from doing what we want to do. I had a jewelry business, and everything that I knew said it can happen. I know it could work. I talked to business owners up in New York when I was back home, and it was like, yeah, I'll help you get there. I chatted with this dude that was overseas, and he was like, I'll help you get there.
Yeah.
And I almost let two people sit there and tell me that it won't work. And they literally laughed at me when I was trying to do it until I did it.
Yeah.
I read on a shirt one time, hustle to your haters, ask, are you hiring? Yeah. Do that. Do that thing.
Yeah. I think, you know, the fact that we had those two voices, I think, you know, having the right people around you, I think some people just need good people. And again, I think that's why it's so important to invest in the good people to hold you accountable, you know, because I feel like everyone needs it. Because it's like, deep down inside, you like, all right, I want to do it. I know I can do it. All right, I'm good. I'm saying I'm gonna do it, but sometimes you just need someone like, did you sign up yet? Did you put the down payment? You put the deposit down? You know, you need people around you that's like, you know, and that's why it's good to invest into good people. Because I feel like everybody needs that. Even people that I feel like are accomplishing, they might be procrastinating in a whole nother area that they like, well, I got this other business idea, you know, and it's like even myself, like, you know, I got a million and one ideas, but sometimes I just need that somebody that's holding me accountable, you know, and I feel like everybody needs that little push, that voice that's above that voice of doubt, you know, of self-doubt.
Yeah.
So that's like, no, we're not listening to that. Like, no, you're gonna do it, you know. And people just holding you accountable, like, hey, so you signed up? Okay, you finished? Okay, good. So now you instructor, you know. So but yeah, I think that's really important. You know, people need that. And I feel like if people don't have those accountability partners, some people will let that negative voice overpower, you know, what it is that they really want to do.
Yeah, and when we're dating, we're looking at a lot of things. But I think one thing that we should really look at is, do we match each other at least ambition wise? Like, are we looking for the same thing out of life?
Yeah.
Having a good woman will take you straight to the top, but having a bad woman, you will find that there's no limits to how low that you could fall. Um, and I commend people who will stay single as opposed to getting a bad relationship. I commend that. Um, Everybody has those lonely nights. You're like, damn, I wish somebody could just hold me tonight. But I'd rather you hold your damn self than have somebody who's about to ruin your life holding on to you, because they'll drag you down.
Yeah.
And it's harder to pull somebody up than it is to pull somebody down. Trust and believe it.
Yeah, but I do
So
think you're right though, looking for someone with the like-minded, you know, because if you got someone that's not, you know, I feel like those will be the people that will doubt you. You know, if someone is scared to go against the grain and they just want to blend in with society and just like, oh, I work my 9 to 5, that's it. You know, if they don't believe in anything outside of that, they're going to try to convince you that what you're doing is unrealistic, you know. So I do believe you need to have a like-minded partner. You know, and I just feel like when you have a like-minded partner, it's like more ideas, you know, they believe in you even when you're not believing in yourself. So they like, nah, you gonna do it. They're pushing you. You know, I was explaining that to my sister. Like, I'm like, I really want a partner that is like we can become business owners together, like and do, venture off to more businesses. And she was explaining to me someone at her job, her and her boyfriend, they went and bought a embroidery machine. And she said
Mm-hmm.
it was kind of expensive. They went, I don't know where I don't know if they went to Pennsylvania or something. And was it the woman? No, it was the man. It was the man. So I don't know if this is a man's thing,
Wow.
but the man was doubting himself. They actually like went. I don't know where they got these purses, and they came up with this logo, and they embroidered their logo onto these purses, and he just like, I don't know. And she like, we just got it, like, da da da. So my sister bought one. This is how she told me the story. My sister bought one of the purses, and she like, yeah, she telling me the story like, yeah, this is the purse. And I'm like, that's cute as shit. I'm like, I never seen nothing like that. And she was like, yeah, Bridget, she got different colors. Like the one my sister got was like this jean one, and it was like embroidered like in brown. It was cute as hell. And she was like, Bridget, she done brought like 5 or 6 of them to work. So already sold them $40 a piece.
Wow. See?
Exactly, which he was doubting himself, like, I don't know, and the girlfriend was like, no, like we just did this, like, it's, sometimes it's gonna take a little time. So I definitely feel like you gotta have the right person, just so that when either one of y'all is having self-doubt, because I feel like regardless if just like you've been an entrepreneur multiple times in your life, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what reason would you have to self-doubt yourself that this gun instructor wasn't gonna, like it wasn't a good idea, so at times I feel like no matter what you have done, even me, like being an entrepreneur, I still have self-doubt about other business ideas, or it just can simply be procrastination, so sometimes you need a like-minded partner to be like, no, you need to do this right now,
Right now. Yeah.
yeah,
It's not a tomorrow thing. Tomorrow is never gonna get there. Do it today. Um, having somebody in your ear that says you can do it is the biggest thing that you could ever have. I used to deal with certain women, and let's say I didn't get a promotion at work that I went out for.
mm-hmm.
Their response to me was, "Oh, it's okay. That was just that there's a better job for you. That just wasn't the job for you." Instead of saying, "Let's find out where you went wrong so we can fix that so the next one you go out for, you get it."
Yeah.
Instead of saying, "Let's push forward," it was, "Let's dumb you down." Like, "Oh, that was a bad job. That's why you didn't get it." How about I didn't do good? How do
Yeah.
I get better? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How do I accomplish what I want to do by getting better?
Mm-hmm.
And one thing I'll tell in anybody who's willing to listen to me, know this: the people who know you the best are not your customers. Those are not the people who are going to be there faithfully, day in, day out, buying from you. It's people who don't know you. Don't waste your time in trying to sell to the people who've known you since you was 5 years old. Because
Yeah.
all they see is the person that they've known since 5 years old, and they're thinking, well, you should be able to give it to me for free. You know what I'm saying? We've known each other. No, sell to the people who don't know you, because they're the ones who are going to believe in your product.
Right.
And no matter what that product is, the people who are going to buy into your business aren't the people who've known you all your life. I promise
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
So yeah, make that a big thing. Because we'll let that be the reason that we don't continue doing it.
Right.
We'll say, okay, well, if my friends won't even buy from me, then no one's really going to ever buy.
Yeah.
But no.
It's just like a lot of us don't know, we can't see the future. So it's like in the future, Dawn, you could be a millionaire. But people you grew up with, if they see you exactly where you at right now, they're not gonna believe in you versus like a complete stranger. They see your potential like me. I feel like I don't know, and it could be a good or a bad thing, but I see a lot of potential in certain people, especially when I see even like their littlest ideas and they just started on something. I'm like, they gonna be big, like they gonna be millionaires. Like I be seeing it, and I ain't even related to them. You know what I'm saying? But I'm pretty sure
Right.
it's people in their family that it's like, okay, she trying to start her little business or whatever, or he trying to start his little clothing line or whatever, and yeah, I don't know. Like I definitely feel like it's going to be, and I feel like you're right. Like it's gonna be complete strangers that walk in your presence, completely trust everything that you're saying. They're not doubting you, because some people that know you just for some reason they just doubt that, like, oh, I know you. You can't know more than me. We know the same things. We came from the same
Yeah.
place. Like, no, actually, I invested into myself.
I opened the book, damn it.
Yeah, I know a little something. But yeah, the people that really are the last, if ever, to really support you sometimes. And it's okay. They just ain't your people. Just know that, like, I just feel like when it comes to anything in general in life, you just have to, like we talked about that before, you just got to find your people, and those are your people. The people that believe in you, they have faith in you, they want to support you. Those are your people, and the ones that don't, it is what it is, but yeah, I definitely feel like in business, you can't, a lot of times you can't look for the love, from your hometown like that.
Look how many music artists never got the love at home until they made it outside of their city. And then
Yeah.
once they made it outside their city, all their music is being played at home. And there's countless musicians, rappers, DJs, producers people who they've known for years never showed them the love until they made it. And then it's just like, oh, well, I knew them when. Yeah, but you had an opportunity to help me get to where I am right now.
Right. Yep. And a lot of times people don't want to, it's like, oh, I always knew you was gonna make it. I always knew this, or, oh, hey, you should like what? Like, I try to work with you, but yeah, I feel like people, the closest people to you gonna be the last to support you if they ever do,
Right.
And be around like-minded people when it comes to anything. And now that I'm thinking about that, I really believe that too, because it's just, even when you talk about like musicians, because I know, like, I used to be into music. I still like to write music. I know other people that do music. And one thing I've always told my sister, like, I feel like as an artist, period, it doesn't matter what type of artist, whether you like to paint or you like to do music or whatever it is. I feel like a lot of times you don't have that motivation until you're around other artists. I feel that way for myself, even with writing music. Like, I like to write music, but I feel like I had writer's block for so long because I'm not around no other artists, where in the past I would sit in the studio with people and I could write and I would just feed off that energy, and I feel like no matter what it is you do, whether it's you trying to be an entrepreneur, or you're in any form of art, or you are into like trying to do a clothing brand, I feel like you have to be around people like that to, feed off of that same energy, and that's not to say, oh, I'm copying ideas, but I really believe that you feed off of that energy. Because if you're around people, like you said before, Don, if you're around people that aren't on what you on, they don't believe what you're trying to do is possible, whatever the case may be, you're gonna be sitting around someone that is almost like you talking to a wall. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're gonna be so passionate about something, they just gonna be like, why are you even trying to do this? I don't even believe it's possible, So I feel like sometimes you have to be around like-minded people because they know that what you believe in is possible,
Yeah, because what you're saying to them is a foreign language.
Yeah.
You know, all they can think about is I can't accomplish it, so you for damn sure can't accomplish it if I can't do it.
Yeah.
But no, sometimes you just gotta supersede people, um, get around people who at least it's better if you get around people who are already doing what you want to do because you can't learn how to be a rich person from poor people. It's
Mm-hmm.
impossible.
Yeah.
Um, don't waste your time trying to showboat or show people that you made it. Just make it. They'll
Mm.
see it. You know what I'm saying? Like they'll
Right.
see what you accomplished.
Right.
Um, like I'm sure there's people who that you never realized was watching you when you was on your way up doing what you do that are looking at you now going, yeah, I knew that was gonna happen. I knew. And they never said it to you. They never told you one way or the other. Like they never downed what you was doing, but they watched.
Yeah.
And they may have tried something that they felt like they couldn't do. Um, there's always that person who's in the background. They're not down talking you. They're not praying against you, but they're watching because they're like, I need to see somebody do it in front of me.
Right.
I need to see somebody actually make it in front of my eyes, not somebody on social media, not somebody on TV. I need to see somebody physically do it. And then they're like, okay, it's possible. Now I can
Right.
go ahead and try myself.
Right. Yeah.
Um, I think we had another topic, did we? Do we
Yeah.
have time for another topic?
Yeah, we got another topic.
Come on.
So me and one of my clients were talking. I think this goes into what we was talking about a little bit into what we was talking about the last episode. And it's like, remember how we were talking about some women know when men aren't gonna stay when they have babies with them and stuff like that. So the topic is basically, and I feel like we talked about this a little bit, but I want both me and you to explain what are some red flags that you shouldn't have a baby with a woman or vice versa. Like, what are red flags that you shouldn't have a baby with a certain man? Um, what was I going to say? Yeah, because just like we said in the last episode, like sometimes I feel like you don't know. You was like, oh, like people know. So, like, I don't know if you want to. I don't know. You could do either men or women. We could really like bounce off of both. But what would be some red flags in men or woman, or men or a woman that it's like you should absolutely not have a child with this person?
For me, one thing that I tried to when I was coming up, I would always look at a woman's um, intelligence, not their education level. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Not they ain't got to have a stack of degrees, but can they read? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
can they pick up a book and read it?
Mm-hmm.
Um, that's to me because your child is going to spend a lot of time with the other parent, especially if it's a woman, because women are nurturers. So the child is going to be around them. That means they're going to pick up a lot of their educational habits
Mm-hmm.
from that woman. Um, so that's education is a definite big thing. Um, and how they treat the people in their family. If they're not connected family wise,
Yeah.
that's a huge red flag. Because they can't connect to the people who they've been around all their life or that birthed them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, probably don't want them to give birth to yours either. I'm saying
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
uh,
I was talking about this with a client. He's in a relationship, but he said that some of the men that's around him that are either married or they got divorced was trying to convince him that he shouldn't get married. And I'm like, okay, well, like, what are these men doing to the women? Because they try to just tell you about certain things on the woman's side, but it's like, and he could even sit there and say, like, I ain't gonna lie, my one uncle, he like, yeah, he did do women wrong, so he can understand. But I really start thinking, because I feel like sometimes you just don't know. Like, I feel like when, especially like if you have a child with someone and it's your first child, I feel like you're really not gonna know what type of parent they are until it happens. And but like you said, I feel like there can be red flags, so because I like it, whether it be a man not being active in his child's life, or like a woman, say y'all break up and she's not letting you see your child, like, so he was basically saying that, like, how can you detect that, like, a woman might do that? And I'm like, dang, like, you never really know, because I'm like, sometimes I've seen women be like a little bitter, like, when they break up with their baby fathers,
Mhm.
and oh, you ain't getting this kid this weekend, you ain't seeing the kid if your girlfriend over there, just on petty time. And so I was in deep thought, because I'm like, dang, well, like, what would be the signs that a woman wouldn't do that? But I think I'm gonna just speak for women because I'm a woman. I think how people handle rejection, I think
Mhm.
that's a big thing. And of course, I mean, if y'all good and y'all never had that moment where it's like, all right, I'm done with you, like, whatever. Um, but if like so I feel like if y'all was in a relationship and y'all never broke up until the moment that y'all had a kid and now y'all broke up, you might not see it. But I mean, asking those questions like, what happened in your last relationship? Did you handle the breakup well? How did you handle it? Like, I think that those are big questions to ask, because if a woman can't or a man, if you and sometimes you can case search someone and see if they got a fucking restraining order against them. Because if that will be a telltale sign that they can't handle rejection, okay? So that is, I think that one is one of the things. Like, if they got a restraining order, they don't know when no means no. They might not be a good person, that can handle rejection or have a child with. But also I think like petty, right? Like petty. I think for women, because I don't want to say just women, because it can apply to men too. But I feel like a lot of the times, in most of the situations, if a man and a woman is to break up, most of the time women might get the custody of the child, right?
Mhm.
Not all the time. And sometimes, I hear this a lot, women are bitter, and it's not that he's not financially helping you. I feel like even if a man is not financially helping you with a child, I don't believe you should restrict access to that child. I don't believe in
Right.
that. Like, regardless, like, that's still his child. Am I saying that is right? No. But him not financially helping you, I'm not saying that's right, but I don't feel like that's a reason you should keep a child from their parent. But if I think another red flag is just simply like, are they petty? Like, even in them dating, like, if y'all get into an argument, like, I bought you that chain, give it back. I bought you that cologne, give it back.
Yeah, don't have a kid with them. Don't
I
have a
just
kid with
feel
them.
like that was like one of the main things that I was like coming up with in the top of my head. I'm like, dang, like, well, if somebody is petty in arguments, willing to take things back, they would be petty if you had a kid with them. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, oh,
And
you
take the
broke.
kid back.
Yeah, like, oh, you broke up with me. You got a new woman. Nope, you not seeing your child. Nope, my child not going around her. So I mean, honestly, those is the things that that's one of the things that I could really just come up with. Like, if someone is petty, if someone doesn't know how to handle rejection, and I say rejection just simply because, like, if you are with someone and y'all have a child or y'all get married or whatever the case may be, and it don't work out, like, if they were able to handle rejection in a previous relationship or whatever the case may be, they can accept the fact that that's not to say that it won't hurt, you know um but they can accept, like, okay, this person just don't want to be with me no more. I
Yeah.
think everyone handles it different. If you can't handle rejection, you're like trying to beg, convince, I'm banging on your door, you know, you doing crazy stuff. You know, that's stuff people that can't handle rejection. But I mean, if you're dating, you're getting to know someone, you asking them about how they handle the breakup and stuff like that. That can tell you a lot about a person, you know, whether they can handle rejection. To know that, of course, I would never want to see two people that are married or two people that had a child together split up. But if it happens, you can know what type of person you're dealing with, and how it would play out. You know, like, oh, you can just accept when someone just don't want to be with you. So if we had a kid together and we figured out like it's not working, we're not aligned or whatever the case may be, we both can accept that and still be mature adults to co-parent for our child. You know what I'm saying?
One thing to look for in a guy, um, that a lot of women will miss is selfishness.
Mm-hmm.
A selfish guy is bad in a relationship. A selfish guy is horrible as a father. Because if y'all for some reason y'all split up, um, it's that mine type of mentality. And it's not going to be they're sitting there going, oh, that's my child, mine. No, it's my money, mine. If you're dating a guy and it's like pulling teeth for him to do things for you just out of the kindness of their heart,
Mm-hmm.
that's not a father. That's not somebody you want to be the father of your child. But even let's go past the whole breaking up thing. Because let's there are couples who actually nowadays stay together after they have a child.
Yeah.
But if y'all are together, but he is going to rely on you to do everything for that child, that it's only going to lead to frustration. So if y'all can't be, and I don't want to say 50-50, that's not what I want to look for. But if y'all can't be on the same level of let's do things and build things together, let's make things happen together,
Right.
you don't want to add a child to that mix.
Yeah.
Like, don't ignore the dating red flags because you're looking at, okay, well, they might be good for me in other areas. No, if you see the red flags, start weighing those red flags against those green flags.
Mm-hmm.
And that's way before you decide to have a child. I know this is going to sound crazy to a lot of people because it would have sounded crazy to me. Until you work out all of these red and green flags, use protection. Don't even run the risk of a slip up.
Yeah.
Use protection. I know it sounds crazy. I've been with my girl for a year. She still want me to use a condom. Yeah, keep using that condom until y'all figure out what these red and green flags really look like.
Yeah.
I know dudes that are so super petty, and the smallest argument can turn into the biggest thing because they just have to be right.
Mm-hmm.
If you if you can't find a man who's willing to humble himself in the midst of a silly argument, he's never going to be able to humble himself when it comes to a child. Either he's going to make your life a living hell because of that child. Like he's going to be popping up at the house all the time because you got a new boyfriend. He's going to be popping up at the house or trying to fight the dude or something stupid like that. If he can't humble himself in small arguments, if y'all do have a child and God forbid y'all split up, he's going to make your life miserable.
Yeah.
Or he's going to just walk away and he's going to make the child's life miserable.
Yeah.
So like until you work those things out, and I wish I could have talked to me years ago. I was lucky. My children's mothers, because I was willing to humble myself.
Mm-hmm.
And even though the breakup might have been all my fault, or I just might have got tired and broke up, I took the yelling at me because I knew that they were hurt because of what I did.
Mm-hmm.
As opposed to you yell at me, I'm going to yell back. You cursing me, I'm going to curse back. You don't want to see me, or you don't want me to see the kid, fine. I don't want to see the kid. No, I was like, you know what? I did something that hurt you.
Mm-hmm.
And as opposed to meeting your anger with anger, I'll take it. It's not going to kill me. You're not going to say anything to me that's going to make me keel over and drop dead.
Yeah.
Go ahead and yell, scream, get it off your chest. Now, can I come see my child? You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Can I come see my child now? You got that off your chest. Next week you could do it again. But today, can I see my child? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I've had women that I dealt with, and they would be like, "Oh, why you don't just take your child's mother to child support court, or not child support court, but get custody?" Because if it's working, if we're making it work, I may have those stressful days where I had to deal with an argument before I go pick up my child, but I probably caused that argument. I did something in the past that hurt her.
Yeah.
And the only way that she knows how to get that off her chest is to yell. But if I can still go get my child, that yelling ain't gonna hurt me. So if a man can't be humble, and you can find these things out, you can do certain things and see how somebody's gonna take it. And I hate playing games, but you playing for keeps. Like having a child is something serious. There is no putting that child back. No saying the child's here.
Yeah.
You got to deal with that at least the next 18 years with that person.
Yeah. I definitely agree with you when it comes to someone being prideful, because I feel like being prideful is low key like being petty. So I definitely feel like that is a red flag. You know, that it's, you know, I'm not gonna say like, oh, you shouldn't have, you know, but like I just feel like if someone's being prideful, and even when y'all are having disagreements, that shows that like even if you was to split up, you know, you might be petty when it comes to us agreeing on things for our child, you know. And the same thing you said with like being selfish, you know, because hypothetically you have a child with someone, y'all not together, and so now we have to co-parent, where we both have to make our lives still work for this child. And if someone is already showing signs as a selfish person when y'all are in a relationship, you know, outside of being in a relationship, now that y'all are co-parenting and they already were showing that they were selfish, it's usually gonna be about them, you know. So if you know, say you might have to go into work early tomorrow, and you know, even though you usually take the kid to school every day, you need the other parent to, hey, like, I'm sorry, you know, this is usually my duty, but I need you to take the child to school tomorrow, you know. And they're like, no, because I gotta do
it's not my time.
You know what I'm saying? Because like with a child, you know, you have to compromise, just like in a relationship or what, a marriage or whatever. But when you're co-parenting, in order for it to make it work, you have to compromise. You know, it can't just be about you know, and that's on both ends. You know, you can't also think that one person's life is gonna stop because you just up and decided to want to do something, you know. But I think like being selfish, being prideful, those are signs of like they can be petty. You know, those are signs that a person can possibly be petty in certain situations. So I think if you're dating, you know, even though I feel like sometimes people change, because we talked about this the last time, but I think there are things, you know, and really see if people are petty, which is selfish, prideful, or I'm taking stuff back. You know, I think those is all things that like, oh yeah, so if there was a child, which would be, you know, will replace that thing that you're being petty over, you know, you're gonna be petty with the child, you know. So just I think the green flags is looking for people who are understanding, that are selfless, that will try to work with you, that aren't prideful, you know, because if you're in a relationship with someone, like, pride is something that, you know, I don't know, I hate pride, and I always listen to that J. Cole song, Pride is the Devil, but I just feel like you know, nothing good comes from having pride, you know. You don't resolve anything at that point, you're just avoiding, you know. So yeah, those is the things that I could come up with.
Yeah, if you can't, and I know like we talked about when Renee J was on it, and he was like, yeah, some people you don't know, but you see other things that
Mhm.
can coincide with this thing. So you're like, okay, well, I don't know how they are with kids. However, I know how they deal with me when they get mad. You know what I'm saying? So, yep, strike one.
Mhm.
We'll keep the condom on now. We got to work this out. You know what I'm saying? We got to figure
Right.
this shit out. Because once you've crossed that point, and I know, okay, so once you get woman get pregnant, she's like, you know what? I'm starting to see all of those things. I'm going to have an abortion. But why put your body through that if you don't have to?
Mhm. Yeah.
Um, you're going to put your body through a lot less stress putting on a condom or having them put on a condom or even them putting on a condom and you using something to make sure you don't get pregnant. Like whatever you got to do, make sure that you see more green flags than red flags.
Mhm.
Um, if the only reason they take you out is to try to impress you, I know that for some women it sounds like a green flag. That is a red flag because as soon as they don't have to impress you no more, they're not going to be so forthcoming with that money
Right.
to take you out or to do things for you. But if they do things for you just because they love to see a smile on your face and like to see you happy, okay, green flag. Because if we have a child together, they're going to be doing those things equally, if not more, because now I'm not just somebody that they're dating, I'm the mother of their child.
Right.
Um,
Right.
if you know a guy that has a kid and he refers to the mother of his child as his baby mama or his baby moms, that is degrading. That is a red flag. The
Mhm.
mother of my child. I
Yeah.
know it was cute. Oh, that's my baby mama. It's not cute. It's degrading.
Yeah.
Um, it's not your baby mama. Because if you treat it like that's your baby mama, then that's going to show how you're going to treat that child. It's
Mhm.
the mother of my child. She's somebody who is special and important. Maybe we're not together anymore, but she still has a certain place in my life that is so important that I don't want to see nothing happen to her or my child.
Right.
Um, and
I was
if the next girl that you get with can't see that that's a good thing, you're
Yeah.
with the wrong woman after that person.
Yeah. I mean, and it's like you should care about them because that person means something to your child, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I just feel like you know, how you treat them, how you talk to them, you know that like regardless how you personally feel about them, that's your child's other parent and your child does love them, you know, and they mean a lot to your child. So it definitely speaks volumes. But something else I wanted to add to people being prideful, because I think this is something I noticed too. But I feel like why being prideful also can be like a big red flag, and how it can play a part in parenting is like, for example, say that your child isn't doing good, whether their grades are slipping or they're like falling into the wrong friend group, whatever the case may be. Um, and as the parent, you know, you feel like, okay, well, maybe we need to get my child tutoring, or maybe I need to get my child into therapy, you know,
Mm-hmm.
but you just dislike your baby mama or your baby daddy so much, and you're just being prideful, like, well, I really feel like they need it, but I'm not gonna ask. Or I'm willing to put up my half to help with tutoring so my child can get, you know, get their grades up and stuff like that. But I don't want to ask her for nothing. So I'm gonna just let my kids grades slip because you're too prideful, because you dislike this person so much that you can't have an adult conversation for your child's best interest. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's another reason why being prideful is such a red flag, because I feel like when it comes to your child, it can play so many different ways, you know, where it does not matter when you have a child with someone, it does not matter how much you dislike the other parent. You cannot be prideful when it comes to having your child's best interest, you know,
Yeah.
at whatever it is, you know. So you have to have someone that can put that pride to the side and say, you know what, I know I don't like you, but look, we need to talk. He or she not doing good in school. they're hanging around the wrong type of friends. I think we need to put them in therapy. I think we need to put them in a sport. Can we do this together? And I think that's, knowing that someone's not prideful is, to me, a green flag that it's like, okay, I know that even if it don't work out, we could still do this together and raise our child and have the best interest for our child. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That I mentality.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen women in relationship with guys, and they have this I mentality. It's all about them. Um, for example, you might say, okay, well, I know I was supposed to pick up the dry cleaning today for us. I'm not gonna be able to do it. Can you do that? Oh, but I have to do such and such. No, I can't take myself out the way. And I mentality is a red flag
Yeah.
because with the child, especially if you have to co-parent, like be separate and co-parent,
Yeah.
it's always going to be your time shouldn't include on intrude on my time.
Mm-hmm.
um Instead of what can we do to resolve a situation. Situation could be anything, like you said. I got to be to work early tomorrow. I can't take the baby to daycare. Can you swing by, grab the baby on your way to work, drop the baby off? Somebody who's not in an I mentality is, okay, what do we need to do that's going to be the best benefit for our child?
Right.
Instead of I, yours, mine.
Right.
It's our. What can we do? How can we work with each other so that our child is not only going to have the best situation, but they're going to see the best situation.
Right.
When my oldest son, when he graduated high school, my his mom had a new boyfriend at the time, and me and my wife at the time, we went out there for his graduation, and her new boyfriend was just so awestruck that we were all sitting down having a meal together after the graduation. We are all cutting up, we're having a good time, and he literally looked at us and he was like, I've never seen this shit in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, she was getting on him. And I'm like, yo, leave him alone. Like, what I'm saying? This nigga just traveled all the way up here to, what I'm saying? And he's like, I've never seen a woman's ex-man take up for me because she getting on my damn nerves. And I was like, yeah, we passed all that shit. Don't say we cool. Don't say everybody's cool. And
yeah,
my sons got to see a healthy relationship, even though we weren't together.
Right. And that's what matters the most.
It does. It's huge for a child's mental upbringing.
Yeah.
My daughter, up until I don't her mom probably still has the picture. Me and her mother, my oldest daughter, me and her mother was not together. But when it was time for my child to have her first pictures taken, we both went and took pictures with her. Mm-hmm. Because even though we're not together, we still wanted my daughter to see a family atmosphere. Mm-hmm. And that picture stayed on the mantle probably all through her life. It's probably still there. But for us, it was important to see two people who was coexisting for the greater good. Mm-hmm. But if you can't do that when you're dating, or if you can't do that when you're in a relationship, keep the condom on.
I feel like I feel like it's basically like that maturity level, making sure that the person that you're dealing with can be mature, in any type of situation, even when y'all have y'all moments of disagreement and stuff like that, can you still handle things mature? I think that, being mature is a green flag to know, like, okay, like you said, we're not together no more, but we going like exist together in one room to show up for our child and celebrate them and support them, and know that they're loved by both their mother and their father, and any other bonus, parents that came along the way, and you feel the love, because children need that, they need a village, and they need both of their parents, so I think it's very important to have someone that's mature enough, to say, I'm not going to be petty, even though we're not together, and we still going to be a family for our child.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
that's like so important. And I know it's not always easy because I know people say, "Oh, you didn't make a mistake." Yeah, sometimes you just slip up. Sometimes not a mistake, but an accident.
Yeah.
Um, but even in the midst of that accident, you gotta when it comes to a child, you gotta sacrifice and you gotta put yourself on the back burner. Yeah, I'm not gonna always be happy with my child's other parent, but I know we gotta do what's best for the child. That means not speaking ill of the other parent when your child is in earshot.
Right.
That's because now you're teaching your child that not only do you not respect them, but they don't have to respect them.
Yeah.
Like so, no sitting on the phone and bad mouthing the other parent with your homeboy or your homegirl, because you never know when your child is in earshot of that. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? The
And
same,
you're trying to change the way your child views their other parent.
right?
Because like just like if a woman had their child's father, if he was an asshole to her, it doesn't mean he's necessarily gonna be an asshole to his child.
Right.
So it's like, not trying to change how they view someone, because a man is not gonna be the same with his ex versus his child. Um so yeah, I can agree with that, not talking down. And I think even with dating, I feel like you could ask those questions too. Like, because sometimes I feel like that stuff is taught.
Yeah.
Um, sometimes people are taught that because they seen their parent do it. So really getting to know someone, their background, how mature are their parents, because a lot of times the maturity level of their parents going to play out to how mature they are as an adult.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Like, and I know we don't think about it enough, but the older you get, the more you emulate the person who raised you.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there's so many things that I am like my father, like now,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, oh, I used to hate these things about my father when I was a kid, but you found out later on that those are all good things, and you start to emulate those things. Um, like you spoke. You first of all, you always speak highly of your mom, but there was something you said one time about how your mom, your mom is very driven, very focused, but still learns. No saying how she has a fun side to her. She can
Mm-hmm.
cut up with your sisters. No saying
Yeah.
that shows in you and your sisters. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I can be around you, and I haven't been around your younger sisters, but your other sister I've been around, and I'm sitting there looking at y'all. And I'm going, the same things that you speak highly about your mom on
Mm-hmm.
come shines through y'all. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You see those things.
Yeah.
Um, so that's a see who raised the person who you getting ready to get involved with. Because
Yeah.
if you can't stand their mom, it's gonna be really hard for you to stand them as they get older because they will emulate a lot of those same behaviors. And I know it's don't seem like a good idea, but that's the best idea. Um, how does the person that you're getting involved with deal with their parent? Because if they
Right.
don't respect their parent, then one, they're not going to care whether or not their child respects them
Yeah.
because it's kind of the way they are. But also, they're not going to be able to respect you because if they can't respect the person who gave birth to them,
Mm-hmm.
you are an outside entity. You are nobody in that situation.
Right.
So, how they deal with their family is a really big thing. How focused are they when it comes to the family that they already have before you decide to make a family with them?
Right.
Is big.
Yeah.
Like my wife, her and her mom have a lot of similarities about them. Um, and I promise you, even though I wasn't thinking about this at the time, I could see the cloth that she was cut from, and I was like, "Ah, this is good. This is good. I'm good here." You know what I'm saying? Like, this is
Yeah.
a good place to, this is a good person to be with. Um, and it's not always the case, but it's a lot of the times it's the case.
Mhm. Yeah.
So
I, yeah.
each,
I think like with my mom, like I think my mother has a lot of good traits. She's not perfect by no means, but I ain't gonna lie, I'm very grateful that I have the mother that I have. Like I'm beyond grateful for her. Cause like even with like my parenting situation, when I was younger, my dad wouldn't come around sometimes. I never witnessed my mom be petty. My mother has never talked down upon
Mhm.
him. Um, Despite him being in and out of our lives at points of time, she's never denied him access to us. I even was telling her that thing with integrity. I was telling her that today. I'm like, um, I'm like, yeah, mom. I'm kind of upset with you that not upset that she raised us with integrity, but I'm like, I told her the whole thing that I talked about before. I'm like, you raised us with integrity, but you never prepared us for the world of people who don't have no integrity. She was like, yeah, you're right about that.
Mm,
I feel like it's a
yeah.
lot of people that move real shiesty out here, but I don't know. For the most part, I can sit there and say like my mother has really good morals and values, and then she also cool as shit. She fun as shit. So very supportive. And I just feel like those are things that is gonna reflect, a woman or a man sometimes, where they come from.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know we beat a dead horse with this sometimes, but I think what we're talking about is important. It's important enough to revisit it quite a few times. Like,
Mm.
it's parenting is hard if y'all are both together and y'all are both working towards the same goal. If y'all are apart from each other and y'all are butting heads, parenting is super hard.
Mm-hmm.
But before any man or woman, before you decide to take the parachute off and we just gonna free fall into this shit. Now find out, make sure you on land softly, if everything goes, you know what I'm saying, falls apart. Um
Yeah.
after having four children, and for the most part raising six, or being a part of raising a total of six, um I've seen the nightmare stories, but I've seen where it can work because both people um, have the child's best interest at heart, or
Yeah.
all parties involved have the child's best interest at heart. Me and my daughter's mom have never, we've never even cursed at each other in the 32 or almost 32 years of my daughter's life. My son's mom, we've been at odds a couple of times, but we've never said it. It's never been a verbal we're at odds.
Mm-hmm.
It was more so, okay, Don, don't be selfish. You're not doing nothing today. She wants to do something, and it may not even be something important. She just wants to go to the club. I'm sitting in the house. Let me
Yeah.
grab the kids. You know what I'm saying? Um let me go ahead and grab my children. And by far was I, through my children's life, have I been the perfect father? But the one thing that they can say is I've never watched my parents argue and be at each other's throats. They at least put on a good show for us, to they
Yeah.
made us think that everything was cool. So
Mm-hmm.
you can't put a child back. Once a child comes out,
Well, yeah, I feel
the
like y'all showed them maturity.
yeah,
That is like regardless that it ain't work, like we could put our differences, aside to do what's right for y'all. So I think that's a great thing to instill into your children.
yeah. Because what you're showing your children, they one day will emulate your behavior.
Yeah.
Um, and negative behavior it's easier to pick up negative behavior than it is to pick up positive behavior. So,
and I feel like, you know, if you're displaying that negative behavior, children as they grow older, they think that's normal. You know, they'll normalize like, oh, that's what you're supposed to do when you break up. You know, this is what happens when you break up, you know. So I feel like you gotta show them and be the example you want them to be.
Yeah, absolutely. We talked about a lot to y'all today, but rewind this back, play it a couple of times because all of it's important. Everything that we talked about tonight was how to be a better person, how to build on yourself. And if you decide to have a child one day or children, what ways can you make it work so that your child is going to have the best chance possible at succeeding in this world? Give them a fighting chance, and you'll be amazed at what your child is able to do. So that's all for us tonight, y'all.
Yeah.
Don't forget, I said at the beginning of the show, make sure y'all check out last week's show. Please, you will not be disappointed. I knew the show was going to be great last week, but I didn't know it was going to be that damn great. I learned so much. Oh, if y'all don't go back and look at it for no other reason, I got educated and schooled so fucking hard. I had to humble myself and sit there and listen to what he was saying because I thought I knew shit that I didn't know. So watch the whole show. You'll see what I'm talking about. But until next Wednesday, y'all, we out. We got shit we got to do. So we gonna see y'all next Wednesday, or hopefully y'all gonna see us. So let's do this again next Wednesday, Bridge.
All right.
Later, folks.
This is Love, Sex, and Society with Bridget and Don. Please like, subscribe, and share.